Revisiting the past, Putin reflects on the legacy of Crimea and Ukraine. In a candid reflection on historical decisions that continue to shape modern geopolitics, Russian President Vladimir Putin delved into the complex legacy of Crimea's transfer to Ukraine during the Soviet era. In a written interview with Mongolia's own Uдар newspaper ahead of his official visit to Ulaanbaatar, Putin articulated his perspective on the factors that have significantly influenced the current situation in Ukraine, pointing to both external pressures and the long-lasting impact of Soviet policies on national and territorial matters. Putin's remarks, published on the Kremlin's official website, highlighted a pivotal moment in Soviet history when Nikita Khrushchev, then leader of the Soviet Union, effectively gifted Crimea to Ukraine in 1954. At that time, Crimea was part of the Russian Soviet Federative Socialist Republic, RSFSR, making its transfer to the Ukrainian Soviet Socialist Republic a decision with profound and enduring consequences. In 1954, North S. Khrushchev effectively gifted Crimea, which was part of the RSFSR, to Ukraine, Putin stated, underscoring the arbitrary nature of the move. He traced the origins of Ukraine's territorial configuration back to the aftermath of the 1917 Bolshevik Revolution, when the nascent Soviet state saw the emergence of quasi-state entities with ill-defined borders. According to Putin, during the Soviet era, the borders of the Union republics were drawn with little regard for ethnic or historical realities, based instead on what he described as proletarian necessity. This approach led to the incorporation of regions like Donbass, a predominantly Russian-speaking area, into Ukraine, a decision that has sown discord and conflict in the years since. Putin further elaborated on the expansion of Ukraine's territory under Joseph Stalin, both before and after World War II. He pointed out that Ukraine's borders were extended to include lands that had previously belonged to Poland, Romania, and Hungary, a move that he implies was more about consolidating Soviet power than reflecting the wishes of the local populations. These decisions, according to Putin, have contributed to the deep-seated tensions that continue to plague Ukraine and its relations with Russia. In revisiting these historical events, Putin sought to underscore the long-term effects of Soviet-era policies on the present-day geopolitical landscape. He portrayed the Soviet leadership's decisions on national and territorial matters as not only arbitrary but also as factors that have exacerbated the complex and volatile situation in Ukraine today. By framing the transfer of Crimea and the drawing of Ukraine's borders as acts of Soviet expediency rather than genuine nation-building, Putin provided a narrative that seeks to justify Russia's contemporary actions as a response to historical wrongs. As the world watches the unfolding events in Ukraine, Putin's reflections serve as a reminder of how history continues to influence the politics of the present. His interview offers a lens through which to understand Russia's perspective on the enduring legacy of Soviet decisions and their impact on the national identities and territorial integrity of the states that emerged from the collapse of the Soviet Union.